Investing your hard-earned dollars can get emotional, especially when you start to see red arrows come across your TV or computer screen. So how can you control those emotions and make better decisions about your money? So joining us to discuss this is Taylor and Laurel Stewart, part of the family at Mattson Financial Services, the sponsor of this segment. Mattson is a firm that has been helping people like you retire successfully for decades. And so Taylor and Laurel, it seems like it's hard to not get emotional about our money because we have so much tied to it.
Oh, definitely. And there's so much going on right now.
Yeah.
You know, it's the tensions across the, with Ukraine, and then there's also inflation here, and that's all in addition to the markets. And so we talk about, when it comes to your plan, first and foremost, we want to get to know, what do you need, that critical income need to make up for it, but also we want to talk about the lifestyle items and really focus on you to make sure we can try to take care of the emotional piece.
Sure.
And also keeping in mind that this is just another blip on the radar, although not super fun, right? But
they exist, and they have in history.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're planning for the longevity of this plan. We want to be able to take advantage of the things that are going on right now, but if we've got a full plan set up where we've got income planning already taken care of and tax planning, and we've got assets set up in very specific buckets for that reason to take advantage of that opportunity, a lot of our clients will, take a sigh of relief, right? We get a lot of phone calls of, hey, we're seeing this volatility going on in the market. What are we doing? What are we buying at this point? And that's really where we feel a lot of people should be. They should be excited when they see that type of thing because that gives them the knowledge and the solace knowing, hey, I am going to be okay. We've got this set up, and this is just, again, another blip on the radar or storm that we've got to weather out for right now.
So diversification is a term that we've heard you talk a lot about.
Yeah.
How is it that you do it differently?
So a lot of times when people come through the door, they say, well, I've got my 401k and some other investment accounts, and we've got all these different mutual funds and stocks and bonds, and I'm diversified, right? We've got different target date funds, but you start comparing all of those mutual funds or accounts together, and we see a lot of overlap in a very individual stock, right? 5-year mutual funds all own Amazon, for example. So you're getting overexposed in a certain area. So we take a step back, look at your overall plan, and start adding in other things that are non-correlated assets, real estate, commodities, private equity. And outside of just not jiving with the markets or not going up and down with the markets themselves, a lot of these assets bring a lot of good income yield to the portfolio, which is really important in retirement. Especially with the volatility, it helps even out those returns and keep that steady income cash flow going.
Sure. Sounds like it's very customized.
It is, and that's something that, we set up from the very beginning. I mean, we have a lot of family that work in our firm, but also a lot of family clients. And so, if somebody came to us, their plans are going to look totally different because, as we talked about in the very beginning there, it's based off of, your dreams, your goals, your desires. What's the income you need? And so it's not just, we can't sit down with you until you have that magic number of $1 million taken care of because you might not need $1 million, or perhaps you might need more than that. So we need to look at what do you need, to fulfill your dreams, your lifestyle items, and then we can create that plan from there.
Yeah, interesting. And one other thing that we may have never anticipated over a year ago, 2 years ago, is inflation and the role that that is playing in our lives. And certainly for those families or couples or individuals that you've had retire, they would have never thought they might be in this boat right now.
Yeah, we haven't seen this type of inflation since the early 80s, since before Laurel and I were around, right? So this is even new to us, but again, with the other advisors and the things that we do, it makes us very unique in how we handle those, and that really does go back to diversification, but also making sure that we have those other yielding assets, and we've got assets where, we've got our income bucket set up already. We've got 12 to 18 months worth of money set aside, really low volatility, and now we can take advantage of the opportunities in the market to help outpace those returns when it comes to inflation.
Yeah, interesting. What about taxes? What about changes in technology and different things like that and how they factor into a person's retirement plan?
Oh, it's all, so huge. Taxes, we have closed that book now, thankfully, but we need to look forward as to the next year. And we talk about it time and time again, because a tax plan, you can't set it up once and then it's done. You're gonna have to look at it every year, because it also depends on your income. And if you're retired, you still have income coming in from Social Security or pensions, right? So we need to have an eye on that tax man all the time, or woman all the time, to make sure we're not overpaying. We have a good strategy there.
Yeah, and making sure that you can take control of those things and control that tax burden by setting up those different tax qualifications, right? The tax deferred, your 401ks, your IRAs, your taxable money, those non-qualified brokerage accounts, and then of course the tax-free, which everybody loves and says, well, let's just put everything into it. And it says, well, let's not, because we're going to put you in the 38% tax bracket.
Right.
But setting those up properly so you can control what that tax burden is to you, and know that it's a plan. From year to year, it's going to change. Maybe you get a big bonus, which is great, right? But now we have to structure our tax plan differently based on where you were contributing to. So it's not just, hey, this is what we're doing for the year. We need to be speaking at least on a quarterly basis and working with your CPA to make sure that the plan is still going as originally intended, or we're making those tweaks so we don't get those big surprises at tax time.
Yeah.
Right?
And the first hurdle may be just getting started, getting
Right.
evaluated, but then from then on, it sounds like it's pretty manageable. So how do you get started?
Yeah, I think you are right. I think a lot of people are scared to call. They don't know if they've done enough. But this is the opportunity that we set out there for you. So if you're one of those first 5 callers and you saved $500,000 in your retirement accounts, whether that's your banks, your pension, 401ks, things like that, this is an opportunity to give us a call. We'll sit down with you with one of our advisors, complimentary, and start going through, what does your lifestyle look like in retirement? Or if you're in retirement already, maybe there are some tweaks we can make now to make sure it's a more successful plan.
Yeah, well, getting a plan together, that has to be a relief, especially for those who are near retirement, maybe those already retiring saying, I
Right.
can do this better. And so, great information. Thank you so much. For you at home, if you have questions about how much you're risking with your retirement, Mattson Financial has agreed to customize a retirement plan for our first 5 callers now. Not only will they discuss risk, but they'll show you if you're on track to reach your personal goals, map out a strategy to get you where you need to be to your dream retirement. It's available complimentary to the first 5 callers, as we mentioned, so secure a spot by calling 616-514-3831. Again, that's 616-514-3831. Taylor, Laurel, it's great speaking with you. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, great to be here.
Thanks for
you.
having us.
And this segment is sponsored by Mattson Financial Services. We'll be right back with more 8 West.